just give us a sense. Obviously, it was a bit frantic, wasn't it, ahead of Lee? You've had a bit of time since then. What have you done with the squad, and how's it felt?
Um, Again, off the back of that game, just tried to ride the wave with it, keeping positive, and yeah, it's felt pretty good. Lads have come in the right frame of mind. We obviously had a break after that game, and a few of the boys are in international break, so they've all come back together this week and train really well, prep well.
How's it felt for you as well to have a little bit more time with the squad, a little bit more quality time, I guess?
Yeah, it's like obviously it's important that they get a feel of myself and Grixie, and we've tried not to change too much, but more trying to just make them start to feel like they can do some stuff together as a group, and get them going that way. So yeah, content not changed much, but attitude around the place and the willingness to come in and work is been the key message.
So if you say you're allowing them to do a bit more, does that mean you're taking a bit of structure away from them, or not?
I don't mean that we're allowing them to do more. We're just encouraging them to actually believe that they can do everything that we've practiced from pre-season all the way through, and they're shown against Lee that the capabilities are there. So like I say, we've not changed anything towards game plan or structure. It's just trying to manipulate their mindset to actually deliver what they're capable of delivering.
And from what you've experienced over the last 3 weeks or so, has it reinforced for you, Chev, the desire to be a Super League head coach at some point?
Yeah, of course, at some point, yeah. Time's not right now. I'm not thinking about that. Like, my job is assistant coach, now acting coach, and I'm employed by the club to do that. And as long as I am, I'll always come and do my work and deliver it the best way I can, for the players and for the club, so that they're then doing their bit. And normally off the back of that stuff, things come good.
What's been the biggest change in adopting this role on an interim basis? Is it that you got your phone on more? Are you sleeping less, or what?
No, just this side of things. Again, our workload doesn't change. We've Grixie doing the attack and myself doing the defence, and Rowan used to just oversee that. When we've stayed true to that. So the workload doesn't change. It's just obviously the delivery of that, and how that message is sold to the players changes from our point.
And everyone will want to know, have you been given any indication in terms of timescale as to how long you will be in this role as it stands?
No, and again, like, going back to that, like, I try not to get bogged down by it. It's a distraction for me as a coach. My main message to the group is that we're aiming to be in a good spot for whenever or whoever comes in, and that when they come in, that there's a good feel around the place, and the players are in a good spot and performing.
So no one said to you, this is your last game and for you and Grixie in charge?
It's not been discussed, to be honest. And again, like, Ian's just asked us to focus on what our role is in this period, and it'll keep us up to date when that happens. We're not knocking on his door asking. We're just, every day is a chance to get the lads in the right spot to go and play.
Talking of the lads, how have your England internationals rocked up?
Yeah, good. It was a decent experience for them, and probably a little bit of a break. Obviously, they missed with a concussion, so to get a game under the belt and then have a break away from this environment, and come back refreshed, and they've done that.
Were you disappointed that James McDonald didn't get the chance to make his debut?
Not disappointed, I suppose. It's sport, innit? And the fact that James has been recognised for his efforts for us, to then be selected for England is a step in the right direction. And no doubt if he keeps doing what he's doing, then his opportunity will come at some point.
Obviously, Harry and Ash are among those first teamers back in contention this week. I guess you've got some selection headaches, have you, this week as to who comes in and who comes out?
I think their talent and their experience kind of makes that decision anyway. And we'll be honest with the players that they might replace and go from there. But it's a squad. It's a squad, and whoever's called upon to play has to perform or support those that are playing generally anyway. So the lads that came in against Leeds played real well. Some of them may miss out. Some of them might not. We just still like debating that whether we do that with a short turnaround. But we've got a plan in place to cover that if needed.
Tom, is there an update on Tom Holroyd?
No, it's an ongoing. It's going to be a period. So he's not going to play anytime soon. We just got to leave that to the medical team and support Tom through this period.
And is James Bentley getting any closer at all, or is that very much in the same boat?
Yeah, and again, James is close. He's upped his training a little bit. There's return to contact has been put in place, and he'll be in full training sometime soon.
Matty Russell, is that loan come to an end now? Because I think it ran until the middle of next week or something like that. Has he returned to Warrington?
For Wednesday. No, not yet. It finishes on Wednesday. Matty's had a few bits, concussion and knee injury, and knee injury keeps to being persistent. And then the players that he actually came in to cover have now returned. So it's been hard to give him an opportunity to play when our own player, I say our own players, he's been our player for the last month. Yeah, he came in to do a job, and unfortunately for him and for us, that didn't get as much out of it as he'd wanted. And the players have returned to now kind of stop that.
The positive side of it is that obviously your quality players are returning. Do you expect to see the best of Leeds going forward now, given the quality that's available? Yeah,
we always expect the best of them. It's finding the reason why not, and yeah, we're just trying to build that through training and performances that we can review from and build off the back of that. So last week was the last game out was a step in the right direction. There was a lot on that game and a lot of reason to play well, and they need to find that. We need to find that and tap into that tomorrow.
Just a couple of last points from me, Chev. Mikolaj Ledski will make his 150th Leeds Rhinos appearance. Just give us your overview on his contribution to the club over that time.
Yeah, unbelievable. It's a great achievement for any player to do that, but at such a young age to play in the position that he plays in and knock that amount of games out and be growing and still getting better is really promising to see. And Mikolaj's really come on as a bloke. He's a lot more mature than previous years, and in his approach and his mentality, not his play. And he's becoming a leader.
And London obviously is two sides in every game. What are you expecting from them, and how important is it that the squad don't look at the table and see where the Broncos are at the moment?
We're not that far away from them, so we can't look at the table and take anything for granted. They've shown all year that they're spirited, and they're a team. They play for each other and they play well. So we have to look after ourselves first and foremost. Show them respect as we do to everybody else, but more importantly, show some respect to ourselves, and look after what we have to get done. And that's not being dismissive to London. Like, we know that they'll have some attacking threat and cause us some issues if we don't concentrate and work on our detail and our effort.
You mentioned a few minutes ago it's not the right time for you yet to be a head coach. Why is that? Do you still feel like you're serving your apprentice as a sort of young up and coming assistant coach?
Yeah. No, I think coaches are always quick to jump into wanting the title of being head coach and fall short at times. So it's not that I don't feel I'm ready, but I want it to be the right time for both parties, myself and the club that I will be coaching for. So I've coached for a while and a long time, nearly 10 years now. I was coaching while I was playing, but it takes time and to find your own philosophies and work things out and make sure it's the right fit for all.
That said, you one win from one, you might be 2 from 2 by the end of this weekend. There might be a scenario where Ian Blease knocks on your door and says, "Look, you're winning games. Do you fancy doing it for a little bit longer?" Would you still say no?
Yeah, but it's obviously I'd be still in the same situation as I am now, and like I said, my job is to come and do the best I can for the club and for the players in general. So the situation wouldn't change. It's just an extended period. So yeah, it's cross that bridge, but it's however long it's going to be, I'm fully committed to doing the best I can for the group.
There's obviously there's a lot happened in the last few weeks on and off the field. I guess it's kind of been lost in the fact that you as a Leeds lad are now leading this team. What does it mean to you, even if it is just on an interim basis, to be the guy leading the team out, helping the team win games and try and climb up the table?
Yeah, everything at the heart of me. I'm a fan. I started out as a fan of the club. So yeah, it means a lot. It means a lot to me personally and my family. And like you say, I'm from Leeds, so I get what it is to be part of the club and whether you're a fan or player or coach, and I get what the city's built off, and that's what I can try to bring every day that I come in. We're hardworking people of Leeds, and that's what I intend to do, and that's my core belief in how I achieve stuff.
A couple of the players were saying after the Lee win that they really drew off the emotion of that night and the occasion of that night, and they wanted to try and carry that through the rest of the season. Is that kind of a message you've tried to pass on as well, that there's an opportunity to build on something after, I think most people thought, how would Leeds handle that night? But you seem to handle it really well. There's a platform to build on, isn't there?
Yeah, of course there is, yeah. And again, I think that kind of confirmed, that game confirmed what messages I've been trying to get over, and that's all this club ever, the people of this city, all they ever care about is if it looks like you care and you're working hard for each other and you're trying. And 9 times out of 10 wins come off the back of that if you do it consistently. So yeah, they have to knuckle down and work hard and commit to each other and commit to what we're trying to do and try to achieve.
Just finally from me, I think you touched on it a few minutes ago, but with Rowan leaving, people always ask, is there a material change in the way you go about things day to day? You kind of just insinuated you and Grixie split it on the field anyway. Have things changed too much day to day?
No. Rich Unwicks is huge for us in that sense, is that how the day is structured, and we believe in what Rich does. So we've kept things the same, but just try to get the lads to be on point every day, every moment, and go from there. So we just got to keep reminding them, and you can't really see yourselves doing what you're doing at times. So we just have to keep guiding them until it becomes second nature to them.
You mentioned before about riding the wave. How big a part of that wave was the emotion of the league game and the way that the lads handled it?
Yeah, huge, and they could have sunk on that night as well, and they didn't. So sometimes out of a bit of adversity, you grow a little bit, and that goes in anything in life. So I feel like that night could have been a turning point for them, but we'll only know that this week coming and the weeks after. And I certainly don't want to take a step back from that. You don't want to ever regress. So we have to, or we have been kind of focusing on the day-to-day, win the day, build your way towards a win at the weekend, but more importantly, just build your way to performing the best you can. And the results will take care of itself if you've done the right thing at the right time.
And that attitude to plenty of players very well over the years at Leeds, probably you as well as a player. Is that the attitude you had as a player, like do it day to day, win the day sort of thing?
Yeah, I love it. Like, go enjoy it. You've got to find a way to enjoy it, even the hard bits. Like, it's at the time when you're doing it, it's not great, but when you've achieved it and knocked it off, and you're feeling good about yourself, you're building your week towards the performance at the weekend, and then the icing on the cake is getting the win. But before any team wins, you've got to do the bit that counts, and that's the ones that no one sees.
Is that an attitude or a thing that coaches can coach, or is that something that purely comes from the player themselves?
You can lead by example on it, and encourage them to find their way of finding that in within themselves, without lecturing them and trying to be the one that disciplines them into doing it. Yeah, it's about encouragement. Anyone just needs a little bit of belief in themselves, and belief in yourself normally starts with someone else believing in you, and then having a go at achieving what you want to achieve by hard work.
And just lastly for me, I had a quick chat with you after the game. You talked about going for a walk after the league game, but did you end up sort of traipsing the streets at like 2 a.m, sort of thing, like just to get over the game?
Yeah, that's my time. Yeah, try to switch off and not think too much about the game. Spend a little bit of time, take a breath, and then come back to it and pick up and again get it right for them. So rather than riding that feeling of emotion through that night, it's reset and then get ready for what's coming the week after.
Harry Newman, I think he got a bit of a knock playing for England. Is he okay for this week?
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. Obviously, he took a little bit of a knock, but he finished the game for England, and he'd come in and he played. So yeah, he's all right.
You mentioned Matty Russell earlier. Is he likely to go back to Warrington after the 11th, then when his loan finishes?
Yeah.
Is there any chance he could be kept on?
No, I don't think so. When he came in, we was literally down to the bare bones, and we've now had players return and consistently training. So I don't think it'd be fair on both parts. And if he was in, he'd be waiting again for his opportunity. So he's done a good job. He's come with great attitude and added to the group. Just opportunities have not been there for him, so yeah, he'll probably be returning.
And how's Sam Essay settling him?
Yeah, very well. He's a great kid. He's smart, which front rowers don't really get around for, but he knows his way around the field, and he asks a lot. He works on the little bits. He's diligent about his prep to train, and yeah, he's settled in really well. The boys have embraced him, and he's looking to play well.
I suppose the fact he's a Leeds lad must help. He's playing for his home city club.
Yeah, you think so? We've had a few chats around that, and yeah, I think he loved playing out there the other Friday, and yeah, he's like I say, he's all in, and he's got a great attitude towards it. He's not coming and tried to bring anything other than energy and effort to what he's trying to achieve himself for the group.
And just on a couple of long-term injuries, is there any sign of Max Simpson getting back to being on the field, and also what's the situation with Kieran Hudson? He's been out a while, hasn't he?
Yeah, Kieran Hudson's again had a few bits. He came with an Achilles injury, did the rehab from that, and then got back playing. Had an hamstring injury, and he's now he had to reset, and he's at the end of that protocol of return to play, and he's been in full training this week. So another couple of training sessions with his belt, and he'll probably play for the reserves just as part of his process to return back into contention. And Max has been unbelievable in his recovery. He's had a few setbacks, but never wavered. And we've took our time with him and made sure that what he needs is what he gets. But yeah, he just keeps having a couple of setbacks, and then it kind of resets him, and he has to go again. But there's no rush with him. We have to get right with him so that he has a long run of it. Now, touch wood that he goes the rest of his career without anything major.
Could he play this season? Do you think that's presumably still the target?
Potentially. It's an ongoing, and there's different factors in that. If he was a little bit older, he'd probably be rushing or pushed to be in. But he's a talent, and there's no point in breaking him when we see him long term.
Just a quick one about the problems you've had with concussion, Chev. I mean, you seem to be by far the worst team affected by this problem in Super League this year. And you mentioned 4 players coming back into the squad this week after serving concussion protocols. Have you managed to put your finger on why so many concussions have occurred for Leeds this year? Is it something to do with faulty technique, or is it that you're being probably far more stringent than other clubs in terms of diagnosing what's happening, or is it just bad luck and randomness, really?
Maybe a bit of randomness. Maybe our players are open and willing to report, which is a good thing. And I think that's the right thing to do, where players are open and willing to report that they've got symptoms or feeling not quite right, and us as a club have to do the right thing by the player and make sure that we follow the RFL protocols and make sure that them players are in the right spot for now and for life after rugby. So not suggesting for 1 minute that other clubs are not, but maybe their players are under-reporting on that stuff to get out on the field and putting themselves at risk. Maybe. I don't know that. I can't answer that bit, but yeah, I think our players are doing the right thing for the club and for themselves by reporting. Absolutely.
So have some of the players, as opposed to being diagnosed on the field and taken off the field, as the game's going on, are you saying that some of them have sort of reported after the game that they've, suffered something, suffered an incident during the game that's affected them? Is that the situation?
Yeah, we've had a couple of delayed concussions.
Yeah.
Not all blows are clean out, but yeah, players have symptoms after, and like I say, we care about the person before the player, and if they're willing to report that and open to report that, we have to support them through that bit and make sure that we do right for them. They're not always going to be a player; they are going to live for life after rugby. So, as a sport, we know more now, and we have to support that and make sure that the players are leaving the game in the best shape that they can for life after rugby.
Absolutely, yeah. Just coming on to the coaching situation at Leeds, Chev. I mean, obviously Leeds are keeping it fairly close to the chest, not giving much out really about who's likely to be offered the job. But 2 points just arise in my mind. I don't know whether I assume they're hoping to appoint somebody as soon as possible, but it may be that they come to the conclusion that if they're hoping to attract somebody from a different club, that the end of the season might be the right time. Would you be happy to, carry on coaching as you are on an interim basis right to the end of the season if that were the situation?
Yeah, of course I would. Like I say, I'm emotionally invested in the club. I'm contracted till the end of the season, and I want the lads and the club to do well. So if that is the situation, I'm fully committed to that too. And yeah, like I say, I'm working to get the lads playing well, so that if it's the end of the season or if it's next week or in a month's time, that someone comes in, that they walk in and there's a feel good factor around the club, and the players are in the right spot to perform for whoever's going to be the next leader.
And it's true, isn't it, that a lot of coaches, when they come in as a new head coach, they very often like to bring in their own assistants, who they're perhaps familiar with. And that often, can mean that the coaching staff who are already in place in a club, there's some sort of conflict there. Are you confident that whoever gets the job, you would still remain in place, in your current role? You've mentioned you and Grixie.
Yeah, no, it's professional sport. Like, I know what I've signed up for. If I wanted a job that was safe, I wouldn't choose rugby league.
You'd be an accountant, wouldn't you, I suppose?
I wouldn't choose coaching as a job. It's only your job until you're good enough, till you're no longer good enough, or you're not in it. So yeah, if that's the decision that is made down the line, then I have to roll with that and find other opportunities elsewhere. But whilst I am here, I'm committed to doing my job and working hard at it. And there'd be no bad feeling towards that. I understand that. One day I'll be a head coach, and I probably want my own staff too. So if I was in that situation coming in, I'd want to assess the staff that are actually here, and lean on them a little bit. But again, that stuff's out of my control. All I can do is do the job to the best of my ability right now, and work from there. Can't look too far ahead.
Absolutely. Have you been sort of sounded out? I mean, obviously, a lot of names have been thrown up who might be the next coach of Leeds. You must have a fairly strong opinion. Obviously, you've been coaching, as you say, for 10 years. You must have your own opinions on which other coaches, around the scene, you've got a high regard for. Have you been sounded out by the club about who you might like to see coming in, if names have come up? Has anybody said to you, what would you think about this guy?
No, that's Ian's job, and Ian's been brought in to do that. Now I've got experience of, I've either played for or worked with every coach other than Bluey throughout the Super League era, so I've got an idea of what it takes to be the head coach of Leeds. But it depends on where Ian's looking to take the club and what he's trying to do. But as I said to Ian, like, I'll support anyone and everything that's coming in to make the club better. So Ian takes.
So you're happy just to trust his judgment, in other words?
Pardon?
You're obviously happy to trust his judgment, whoever they decide to appoint.
Yeah, of course. Ian's been brought in to do that, and he's working tirelessly at that. So I'm sure when the decision's made, it'll be the right one for this time.